Hello, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, hey, what's up? I'm Savannah. On the channel, I talk about the fun side of minimalism, and today I am sharing with you 10 signs that you are ready for minimalism in your life. This video is for the minimalism curious, for those who really just want to dip their toes in the water and see what it's like. So in this video, I'll be sharing 10 signs or situations that I experienced personally, just general clutter and chaos in my closet, in my home, in my life, and how minimalism and just really simplifying everything in my orbit helped me get to a much better place. Now looking back, I can definitely say one of the first signs that showed me that I was truly ready for minimalism was that I was always looking for more storage. I was always organizing. I thought organization was the big problem. If I just did a little bit more color coding, a few more labels, I would get my stuff in order, swing by Target, the Container Store, get a few more totes. But every time I did my big organization spree and bought all the supplies and did all that work, it never took more than just a couple weeks or even a couple days until my closet or whatever I had just organized returned to a crazy, chaotic state. And I just couldn't figure it out. Like, why could I not keep my stuff organized? And I realize now it's because I just had too much stuff. It's impossible to keep a closet organized if there's not space to put things back in. I'm a firm believer now that if it's not just as easy to put something back into your closet as it is to take it out, you just won't put it back. The clothes will just end up on a chair or on the floor. The second sign that I was experiencing, and you may be too, is that I was losing things in my house a lot. I mean, a lot, like every single day. My keys, my phone, my wallet, simple things like that. But beyond that, I just couldn't find certain pieces of clothing, or I'd have things for holidays like Easter decorations or Halloween decorations. And then the holiday would pass and I'd find them later. It's just hard with so much stuff. I love Dawn, the minimalist mom. She talks about her household being like a storefront with an inventory. We are all the managers of our home, our storefront, and we can only handle a certain threshold of goods, and then things become very overwhelming. So for me, I have just way pared down the amount of inventory in my home, and now everything is manageable. The next sign that you are ready for minimalism in your life is that you are constantly running out the door late and very, very stressed. This was my constant state, basically starting in high school. Once I got my driver's license, I was hitting the snooze button. I didn't have my backpack packed. My clothes were all over the floor, and it was just pure chaos. And really that state of being continued on throughout my 20s. I got to school and work on time, but not without like speeding and just being generally really, really distressed. And I feel like starting out your morning that way is so bad. And I truly thought that was just my personality inherently. I wasn't ever going to actually change. But let me tell you, ever since I majorly downsized all of my stuff, everything has changed for me. I am so much more calm. I am always on time. I don't have to speed. It's very rare that I'm like super stressed running out the door. It's because I have less clothes. I feel really confident in what I'm wearing. I have time to like eat more healthy. I have time to like take my vitamins and just be more thoughtful about my life. All to say, minimalism for me has greatly improved my mornings. This next sign is a cute one. It is that you are curious about shopping more sustainably, but you find yourself at TJ Maxx and Target all the time because it's just easier and it's cheaper. And I was a huge TJ Maxx. I was called a Maxxinista by one of my girlfriends in college. I was that gal. I love my deals. I want my designer brands. Designer Tahari. I'm just kidding. And it felt like impossible to shop sustainably. I felt like it was expensive, not accessible, and it was just easier. It's there. It's what everyone else is doing, but there are other options. Truly, if you buy less clothes, think of it this way, you're spending the same amount of money if you're shopping more sustainable or like better brands or higher quality brands. I'm not crazy like super only shopping sustainable brands. I shop Madewell, I shop J. Crew, but for me, pieces that last a long time, that's what's sustainable for me. And I usually buy all my clothes secondhand. That's another really great option. And I will say, when my life was more chaotic pre-minimalism and simplifying things, I just didn't have the willpower to like deal with Poshmark, like deal with thrifting. It's like, that's a lot of work. I don't have the time. But these days I have the time. I care more. I'm more intentional. I'm into the slow fashion. So if you're curious about slow fashion too, I promise it is possible if you just slow down your life a little bit. The next sign that you may be ready for minimalism in your life is that you clean 24/7, yet your house does not stay clean. It always returns to being messy really fast. Is there anything more frustrating than this? I felt like I could never get on top of our house before, just like sweeping, cleaning the windows, keeping the sinks and toilets clean, just really simple things like that felt extremely challenging to me. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it's because we just had too much stuff, so much clutter, little piles everywhere, piles of returns for Amazon, piles of dirty dishes, little piles in the car, soccer stuff, old water bottles. And you know what makes cleaning really, really hard? Having this stuff everywhere, because basically you have to do a massive tidy before you can even start cleaning. I have always despised cleaning my entire life, but now, no joke, I love to clean. I can relate to those people now who like cleaning. Those people probably like cleaning because they have a tidy house, because cleaning a tidy house is so easy and relaxing. So now that I've minimized, I actually like cleaning and my house stays clean for much longer. This next sign is that you often order takeout because you just can't deal with your kitchen because it's so messy or you just don't have any groceries. I definitely lived like this throughout my 20s. Me and my husband, we tried to be on top of it, but we didn't always thrive in this department. And now looking back, I think we just had too much crap in our kitchen. All of our drawers were stuffed full. We had so many like appliances and pots and pans. It was hard to function and operate. Also, I just was always running late, like I said, and stressed. So I never was grocery shopping ahead of time or having like any kind of foresight or planning for our meals. It was always like night of trying to figure it out. I can confidently say that I way overspent on eating out all throughout my 20s, but now that I've simplified my life, it is so much easier to plan out my meals, do grocery shopping. I enjoy cooking more because my sink is clean. You guys, I always had dirty dishes in my sink 24/7, so then I never wanted to cook. It's a vicious cycle. So for me, minimalism has allowed me to cook at home more, and it is such a nice thing. The next sign is that you majorly lean on alcohol or whatever your vice is in the evenings as your de-stressor to unwind, because the thought of just thinking about your to-do list, about your life, is extremely overwhelming. And this one was also me. These are all personal examples. I definitely leaned on alcohol throughout my 20s. Every time I came home from work, cooking felt super overwhelming. Thinking about my life and my to-do list felt overwhelming. I just wanted to escape. And I'm not saying I never do that, never have one of those nights, but I will say these days, with having my life more simplified, I don't really need that as much because I'm really content with my life. I don't feel like I have to drink as much or want to drink as much. I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll just have a glass of tea and go to bed early or take a hot shower. And maybe that sounds really freaking boring to you, but I will say I feel a lot better, and it's really nice not using that, you know, drinking or whatever you're up to as a crutch. The next sign that minimalism may be ready for you is that you feel disconnected from who you are. What are your interests? What is your own personal style? It's so easy to get wrapped up with all of the trends, just being on Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're up to. You just get swept up in it all and you lose track of who you are, what your interests are. And for me, really paring things down has helped me rediscover the core of who I am, my values, what I like, what I don't like. I love in Marie Kondo's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. She talks about this in a major way. When you let go of everything that's not you, that doesn't spark joy, as she says, you're only left with things that do spark joy, that really are true to you. So she talked about people in her book that have decluttered a bunch of books of their own and were left with just math and science books. And that person realized, oh my gosh, I've always loved chemistry and science. Why am I doing this other thing? So I think it can be a really beautiful thing, rediscovering who you are through just boiling down your things, your life, your relationships to the essence of who you are. The next sign that you are ready for minimalism in your life is that you have a huge closet, yet you feel like you have nothing to wear. This was definitely me getting ready in the morning. I would try out so many different outfits, yet never really feel confident or satisfied with what I was wearing, whether it was the color, the fabric, the fit. I had so much, so I felt really silly that I couldn't quite put things together. But what I didn't realize is that I had decision fatigue. I just had way too many options and actually not that good of options. And I think that's really common of women or just people generally. Most of us keep things in our closet that don't fit us anymore. Maybe they're a smaller size we're trying to fit into. I don't play that game anymore. Now I only keep pieces in my closet that fit me perfectly in this current life stage. This last sign is that you want to be intentional and have gratitude for the people around you and the things around you, but you don't feel like you have the time. For me, this looked like not taking care of my clothes, not taking care of my car. My car was just like falling apart, so dirty. My clothes were on the floor, I was trampling them, and I felt really bad about it. I wanted to be the girl with like the nice clean car. It didn't have to be a fancy car, just like taking care of my car, having respect for my stuff, having that like pride of ownership. That was majorly lacking in my life. So for me, it's opened up more space to be more intentional. I feel like I can remember birthdays more, be more intentional in person with someone, be more present in a conversation, and not always be one foot out the door, always having my mind in the future, always focused on the next thing, the next thing. And now I'm just so much more present and I'm so much more grateful for the stuff that I do have. So that is everything. Those are the 10 signs that I experienced. Maybe you're experiencing all of them, maybe a couple of them, but if you're minimalism curious, definitely give it a go. I have a pretty sweet video, which is how to get started with minimalism. If you're curious, it's kind of like a little brainstorm worksheety sort of thing. I mean, just like grab a blank piece of paper and a pen and you can do it. So I'll link that video in the description box. So that's been my journey. Share your journey in the comments. Thank you again for watching. I'll catch you guys in my next one. Love you. Have the most fun rest of your day. Bye.